Okay, we're going to take a look at the spices that we're using for our shrimp boil today. This is the cumin I was just mentioning. Ground cumin is a great item to incorporate in your meals. Like I said, most people don't like it because it has a strong taste, but it doesn't bother me. I actually like the flavor of it. And as I was saying earlier in the other segment, that this is used in a lot of Indian or Moroccan dishes, but it's a great healthy spice that you should incorporate in your meals. Okay, and we're also using minced garlic, and garlic is also healthy for you, so I put some garlic in there. And I also have garlic and herbs, and the garlic and herbs is just like a all-purpose seasoning. It has a combination of ingredients, and some of the same other ingredients that I use are in here, but hey, the more the merrier, the more flavorful. I love it. Okay, then we have our Cajun style. This is excellent. It has a little kick to it, a little spice, but it's not too hot, so even kids can stomach this Cajun style spice. Very, very tasty. Try it out. Cajun style spice. Love it, love it, love it. And we're going on down the line. Fresh rosemary leaves. You can get the whole leaves or the crushed leaves. I think I actually picked up the wrong container because I didn't use this one. I used the other one, which is the crushed rosemary. But all the same, the rosemary is great in your dishes. Then we have our fresh onion powder. In addition to the onions, like I said, I put onions in the dish, but I also added a generous amount of onion powder to give it that extra flavor. And onion powder is great for those of you who are trying to eliminate salt from your diet, and you don't want to use the regular table salt or the seasoned salt. Onion powder is a great salt substitute, so try out the onion powder as your salt substitute. Okay, and we're also using Italian seasonings. Great combination with the other ingredients that we have. I put in just a little lemon pepper, not a whole lot. Okay, I put in some lemon pepper to give it that lemony flavor, because I didn't have any fresh lemons on hand, so that's why I substituted the lemon pepper. And I did not put any black pepper in there because I was using the the cayenne pepper. So cayenne pepper. I didn't put, just a little shake in there, a little dash, not too much, because we don't want it too hot that we can't enjoy the meal. Okay, so we have that cayenne pepper and the lemon pepper. That's more than enough pepper for it. You don't want to overpower pepper. And then here we have our parsley. Okay, we have our parsley that we added to it. And parsley is not a very strong vegetable, but it gives it a little flavor, added flavor, something. Okay, so we have parsley, cayenne pepper, the lemon pepper, then we have our Italian seasoning, our onion powder, the rosemary, we have the Cajun style herb spice, we have the garlic and herb spice, and then we have our minced garlic and the ground cumin. Excellent combinations. And we're going to go back now and check on our pot and see how it's doing. Alright, and we're back to our pot, and we see that it is boiling, boiling, boiling. So we're going to let it cook a few more minutes. I'm going to put the lid back on there to keep the steam in there. And we're going to continue to let the sausage, eggs, and corn and the seasoning blend. And we will add the shrimp to our pot a little bit later. Okay, and while that is cooking, we're going to go over and take a little peek at the catfish nuggets that I'm gonna season. I've already washed the catfish nuggets. It was in the freezer. I thawed them out and I washed them. And now I'm gonna go put the seasoning on the catfish nugget, and we're going to fry the catfish nuggets. Okay. So let's go do that while we're waiting on our items to finish boiling for the shrimp boil. Alright, and this is our catfish, and this is the little catfish nuggets. And for those people saying catfish nuggets, what are catfish nuggets? Catfish nuggets are simply a whole catfish that has been taken and cut into smaller portions, smaller pieces. So give your eyes, let you see. That is the catfish nuggets. They're just cut into smaller portions, that's all. And we've already washed it. Make sure it was very clean, okay? So some pieces are little tiny pieces, and then you have some pieces look like little catfish tenders rather than nuggets. So that is the catfish nuggets, okay? So now you can get a good idea of what they look like, catfish nuggets. And you can find this in pretty much any grocery store, catfish nuggets. Okay. And we're going to season them. We're going to use some of the same seasoning that we use for the shrimp boil, but not all of those items. For the seasoning for this catfish nugget fry, we're just going to use the onion powder, the Italian seasoning, the parsley flakes, the ground black pepper, which we didn't use in the shrimp boil. We used the lemon pepper and the cayenne pepper for the shrimp boil. But for the catfish nuggets today, we're going to use the ground black pepper, the Cajun style spicy spice, and again the parsley, Italian season, and the onion powder. So that's just a quick look at those ingredients: the onion powder, Italian seasonings, the parsley flakes, the ground black pepper, and then the Cajun style spice. Those are the ingredients that we're going to use today for the catfish. Okay, and we're just going to go and sprinkle some of these ingredients on here. Okay. Okay, and there you have it, people. I went ahead and just dashed all of my seasonings on top of the catfish. And as you see, I put a generous amount because I like for my food to be seasoned. I hate to bite in a piece of meat and it has a bland taste. You can't taste any flavor. So in this house, we love a combination of spices. So I put a general amount of all the ingredients on here. Now we're just going to give it a little toss to make sure that those spices get on every piece of the catfish. Okay. Just a little toss. And then we're going to let it sit for a few minutes so that that seasoning can go through. And by the time the seasoning sets on this for a while, then this shrimp boil should be getting ready to finish up cooking, and then we will cook the catfish last because it doesn't take the fish long to fry. And we are going to give this fish a good deep fry. And we're going to fry it in a combination of cornmeal and flour. We're going to add a little flour to the cornmeal. And it's okay if you are a flavor person like me. You can add some seasoning to your batter to fry the fish in. So when you mix up your cornmeal and your flour, if you want to add black pepper and the other combination of seasonings or spices into that, that's perfectly fine. It's whatever you like. Okay. Sometimes it's trial and error. You just do things the way you like. Add your own little spin to it to make it your personal touch on it. So that is all mixed up. Zoom in a little bit and you can see all that good seasoning is on here. It is seasoned. So we're going to let this sit, like I said, for a little bit, and then we will come back and fry it. And I'm going to go wash my hands, and then we will check on our shrimp oil. Okay guys, for the catfish batter, we're going to use a liter of the self-rising flour and also a liter of the yellow cornmeal mix on this. Okay, cornmeal mix. Okay, you can use whatever brand you want. It really doesn't matter, whatever you like. Okay, a lot of people like to fry their fish in Arnett's cornmeal, yellow cornmeal. That's great. Like I said, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to use the Martha White yellow cornmeal mix and add some self-rising flour by Ginger Evans into that mix. And then I'm going to sprinkle just a little of the seasonings in that mixture and give it a little stir. And then we will wait a few minutes to let the seasoning go through. Right? Be back in a minute. Okay, I have taken a little container and put my cornmeal and my flour in here. As you can see, the contrast, two textures of the gritty cornmeal and then this silky flour combination. Okay, now, like I said, I'm going to add some seasoning, and this time I'm going to actually use some seasoned salt. And we're going to use just a dash of black pepper, not too much because we don't want it too hot. And we're going to use some onion powder, and then we're going to use some of the Italian seasoning. So let's sprinkle away. Just going to put just a little. Okay. A little of the onion powder. Couple of dashes of black pepper. That's about enough black pepper because we put a generous amount on the other stuff. We don't want it too hot. And we're going to put a generous amount of seasoned salt. Okay. And then we're going to give that a good stir. Okay, now let's give that a good little stir. And we're just going to make sure that it gets blended up in here real good. Sorry, it's just moving around, but I'm using one hand. I'm holding my camera in my hand because I did not take the time to put it on the stand. So now we're going to have plenty of flavor in each bite that we take. Not only will it be on the fish, catfish, but it will be in our seasoning. Alright, that's mixed up pretty good. Alright, so we're all set with the batter mixture, flour, cornmeal combination with seasoning. Okay, we're all set and our fish is seasoned and ready to go. Now we're going to take a moment and go over here and check on our shrimp boil. I think it's about time that we added our shrimp. And then we'll be ready to fry our fish, guys. Be back in a minute. Oh, that is looking delicious. Yes, delicious, delicious, delicious. See all that good seasoning that's setting on that corn. The steam is coming up out the pot. We're going to give this a little stir, and then we're going to add our shrimp to this mixture. And then we can get ready to heat our grease for the fish. And we will be ready to do a little taste testing. It is looking delicious. Right? Looking delicious. All of that seasoning you see is on that rosemary and parsley and Italian seasoning. It's laying on top of that corn and saucing, and then you have to add it bell peppers, onions, and celery and stuff in there. It's going to be delicious, delicious, delicious. I can't wait to taste it. So we're going to let that simmer for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to dump the shrimp over in there, and we will be ready, guys. Okay, guys, we have our shrimp in the strainer, and we're going to rinse them right quick so we can put them over in the pot that's already simmering over here. So, and again, I used the entire bag of shrimp. So this is like about 60 pieces of shrimp. And again, this shrimp was pre-cooked, so that's why we're adding it at the very end so it doesn't overcook. We're going to give it a quick rinse, and then we'll put it in the pot. Okay, guys, the shrimp is ready. It's rinsed thoroughly. Now we're going to add it to our pot. That's 2 pieces going in. Okay, all of the shrimp is in there. And we're going to give it a little stir. Okay. Be careful. Don't want to damage the eggs that are in here. So you can set the corn up some. There you go. So we can get the I think one egg may have already cracked, but it'll be okay. Alright, now we're just trying to mash the shrimp down in here a little so that you can get that flavor We don't want it to overcook. Okay. Then we're going to let this simmer a few minutes. And then we're going to get ready to fry up this catfish. Right? Okay guys, as you can see here, we have our grease in the pot and we've turned our grease on. We're going to let it heat up, and as soon as it gets hot, we're going to fry our fish. And before we put our fish in, we'll do the good old-fashioned grease test by sprinkling just a little of our batter mixture in here to see if it's going to start frying. Okay. Okay guys, we're finished with our shrimp boil. And see, we have our corn, our shrimp, our eggs, our Georgia boy sausages, and all of that good flavor and seasoning is still in that water, so it can just soak up all that flavorful juice in there. The seasoning is being soaked up by the corn and the eggs and the shrimp and the sausage. Okay, so we're just going to continue to let that sit. It's still hot. I just turned the pot off, and now we're going to move on and put the top on this, and we're going to go fry our catfish. Okay. Alright, our grease has been on for a minute, and it is good and hot. And like I said, we're going to give it the old-fashioned test by putting a little sprinkle. And that's what you want to see. Hear that sizzle, and then that cornmeal goes to frying. We know that it's ready. Okay. Now we're going to get our fish. Okay. Just going to give it a light toss in the batter. And I put on a pair of gloves this time, because I'm doing a few things. So and just shake the excess batter off of it. Okay, so try to cut down on the amount of cornmeal that's in the pot. And look at that, guys. That's what you want to see. You know it's good and hot. continue to let that fry, guys. We'll be back to show you the finished product. Okay, guys, this is the finished product. It's all done. We're getting ready to eat. The fish is done. The catfish nuggets are done. I fixed my plate and I put on there egg, corns, 2 pieces of sausage, catfish nuggets, some shrimp, and I'm gonna dash a little hot sauce on my fish. For the mustard. And I'm gonna take a little bite of this catfish. Look at that golden brown. Delicious, 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 delicious. Yeah, this is so delicious. It is so, so, so delicious. I wish y'all could just come into this camper, have some of this hot degrees, hot shrimp. Look at all that seasoning on that shrimp. Delicious, delicious. Oh, that's so good. I just had to suck that sauce off of there. Get that sauce flavor. It's delicious, that sauce. Let's let it just soak in the seasoning. And another shrimp. And the shrimp is just right, people. It is just right. Little Georgia boy sausages. The shrimp. The corn. Look at the seasoning on that corn. Y'all excuse me. I hope I'm not smacking in this camera. But that seasoning is so good. It's full of flavor. Full of flavor. I'm just going to take a bite of this corn. Look at that. All that seasoning on the oregano and parsley. Bell peppers. Delicious. Take a bite. It is delicious. Delicious, y'all. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Now I'm finna go and crack this egg. I haven't cracked it yet, but you can see the seasoning on it. I'm gonna crack that egg and bite into that and just have me some delicious goodness. Again, this is my shrimp boil. The shrimp, Georgia boy sausages, corn on the cob, boiled egg full of onions, bell peppers, oregano, Italian seasoning blend, parsley, cumin, garlic, garlic and herbs, black pepper, cayenne pepper, Cajun style spicy seasoning. It's packed with flavor, y'all. And it's so good because that seasoning has gone through everything. So let's just take a bite of this sausage and we're on our way out, guys. Oh, it's delicious. Right, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. And stay tuned for more videos with cooking with KLun. And be sure to like this video, share it with others, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube at KLun Divine Inspirations. Thank you, guys.